Early in my career, I encountered a narcissist. I was treating a stepdaughter. She was probably 11 or 12 years old. And I want you to know that she was just absolutely adorable. We do a lot of play work, play therapy, but at the end of the session, she would always draw me this beautiful picture and say, like, thank you, Miss Sarah. I love you, Miss Sarah. Anyway, in one of our sessions, she brought up that she was being called all sorts of horrible names by her stepfather. So I go ahead and I call in the mom and I say, we need to get the parents together, you and stepdad, and I'm going to meet with you both.
Absolutely.
So I meet with the two of them. Child is not around. And I say, I understand that you have been calling this child bitch, cunt, slut, worthless piece of shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
11 or 12, she didn't even know what those words meant.
No. And I could feel my body just like, oh my God. And my heart was racing as I'm saying this. He is sitting on the couch. I don't know if you know who Al Bundy is. What's Married with Children?
Yeah, Al Bundy.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Al Bundy?
I love Al Bundy.
Imagine Al Bundy sitting on the couch with his hands in his pants. That's what he looked like. He was an alcoholic, by the way. I think he was drunk in that session. And he looks at me after I say, I understand you call these horrible names. And he goes, yeah, I call her all of that.
Wow. Welcome to Fit Mind Chats. Get comfortable, join us in our virtual therapy office, and get ready to gain insight into motivation that drives behaviors you don't understand. I'm Abby Smeedy, an independently licensed clinical counselor.
And I'm Sarah Delabella, a licensed independent social worker.
We are the owners of Fit Mind Cleveland, a mental health private practice in Cleveland, Ohio, with grounded therapists that are approachable and meet you where you are in life. A place where you see your strength and grow your greatness. Okay, so this narcissism, that story is...
Yes.
Unfortunately, chilling. Unfortunately, not shocking in this field.
No, unfortunately.
I think in the past few years, we've been throwing the term narcissist around pretty freely, and I think it is overused.
Yeah.
However, we just listened to a really good podcast on this, and 1 in 6 people are a narcissist. And I think if you look at your contacts, or maybe look at your Facebook friends and make a list of all those, this tracks. I actually did that, and I'm like, wow, this tracks. All my friends out there are scratching their head. Is she talking about me? I might be. You don't know.
So when I'm in a session, I will tell you that I do hear that all the time. I also, initially, I kind of have this constricted response of getting a good diagnosis is really hard. And even for someone who has experience and they have understanding and they understand they've been trained in mental health, it is really hard to do. However, I also was thinking this might be a really good thing because that means there's a greater awareness around narcissism that may not have existed before. And there is a great, the podcast that we're talking about, she is an expert on narcissism, Dr. Ramani Durvasula.
You're the one that does names. I can't remember my neighbor's name.
I know.
You've got...
I was close.
You're good.
I'm totally butchering her poor name.
I'm impressed that you even know her name, because it is a great podcast. She's the #1 authority in narcissism. So she was fantastic.
If you have questions on it, seek her out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Look up her stuff. I think in our next, there's 6 types of narcissism.
Yes.
We all have a friend, a coworker, a client, a patient, a spouse that might fall into one of these categories. So we're going to go over the 6 categories of a narcissist.
Because you might not know.
You might not know. Because everyone, the first one I'm going to say is the stereotype. This is what everyone imagines. Yeah. It's the grandiose narcissist. This is the typical showy narcissist who is charming, extroverted, arrogant. They believe they're superior, special, often seek to be the center of attention. This is probably the most recognizable one. Someone's clicking in your head right now as you're listening to this. My example of this is probably 15 years ago, a pretty famous fitness instructor in the Cleveland area came to see me.
Yeah.
And when he walked in, he kind of plopped on the couch, and he's not looking me in the eye. And I'm like, where is he looking?
Yeah. He
He was looking in the window at his reflection, flexing.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, are you flexing? And he was like,
say that?
Yeah. He's like, what do you think? I was like, I don't think about that. I'm thinking about why you're here.
Oh,
but
God.
then as we're going into this whole session, I was going to usually ask a billion questions before I ask this final question. I was like, so what brings you to therapy? I actually opened with it. And he was like, my girlfriend's being a total bitch and says if I don't do therapy, she's going to break up with me. she's so hot that I'm willing to do this to keep her around.
God.
Are you kidding me?
So he's real charming.
He is super charming. And I was like, I can't. In my head, I'm like, wow.
See, now you don't always see that in our session.
Right.
We see them maybe behind the mask.
Right.
He probably is actually very charming outside.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, right?
In his field, he has a following. He's no longer in the fitness industry. He had a huge following in Cleveland of people that just thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And as he's sitting here, he makes no apologies for being a dick. Like, I mean, like literally everything that came out of his mouth was like, I can't believe you're saying this.
Yes.
Like, I mean, my face, like usually I keep a pretty like even face, but I think my mouth hit the floor with him. So this is the grandiose narcissist. This is the one you probably all recognize and think of, but there's 5 other types.
Yes. Here's the other one. This one's a really tough one to identify. This is our covert narcissist.
Yes.
Also called the vulnerable narcissist. They're a little harder to spot, and I got to be honest, I am one of them. It's even in therapy, as I'm sitting across from someone, I can very easily misread, because here's the presentation. They're very meek. They're very like non-confrontational. They appear as very soft-spoken and kind, polite. Also, like, you have this desire to kind of want to protect them. They can almost evoke that in you. They can be very they are hypersensitive to criticism, which often you do later find out. If you give some feedback, they are going to struggle with hearing it, because in their mind, they are the victim.
Absolutely. I feel like this is the one you're not going to recognize for years. Like, I have one in particular that I think of that I consider a great friend. And then as I've watched her unravel, I'm like, oh my God, you're a vulnerable narcissist. This is what you do. Yeah. I think you also have a good example.
Yeah. It's taken years to kind of like determine what's going on, but it's also part of what narcissists cannot do is take accountability for their actions. So when confronted, right? So they do avoid that conflict, which again, a lot of people avoid conflict. So don't think that that's the determinant. It is not. Again, like, think of this in a full picture scheme. It's that plus like, and we'll go over that, plus several other types of categories of symptoms. But when kind of caught in a lie, they will not cop to it.
Nope.
They will like revise history around it. So, absolutely. It can leave you. This is one of the hard things. Often, you can spot, like, maybe you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you start feeling crazy. You actually you question your own reality.
Right. So you're getting gaslit.
You are getting gaslit.
Like, you're like, I didn't say that.
Yes.
And you almost want to record that conversation. You're like, hey, you did.
Wait a minute. Or did I not hear it right?
Am I making this up?
I'm sorry, did I make that up? Like, wait, maybe it's me. And you can go through that. A lot of people actually leave a relationship like that, come into my office and go, I think I'm a problem. Like, I think I'm really selfish.
They go for years thinking they're the problem.
Years. Because they've been told they're selfish, often by the narcissist.
Their partner. Usually a lot of times their partner, yeah.
Oftentimes it is a partner. So, yeah, this one, it's a tough one. And again, we don't recommend going around calling your, friends or family members narcissists.
Yeah. No.
But I do think it's good to have an awareness and know what it actually is.
Right.
And you might recognize some signs in maybe your partner or maybe somebody that you care about.
This is the one this one is the one that you'll
this one you'll recognize from my first example.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The malignant narcissist. Ugh. This is the most dangerous type. It combines narcissism with paranoia, antisocial behavior, and sadism. They're super manipulative, aggressive, and often enjoy causing distress, just as that stepfather did.
Yeah.
And like, this is the one where you're in a room with them and you feel
skin kind of crawls.
your skin crawls. You get the heebie-jeebies. Like, I get immediately like this gut reaction, and that's how you kind of know. Yeah. Like, this is dangerous. A lot of people are like, oh, a serial killer. A serial killer is a psychopath.
Yes.
There's different thing. Yeah, different thing. This is a different thing, but like, I think this is a more rare one. I don't see this as much.
I was going to say, I don't know.
The vulnerables one I see.
I see that one. This one's a tougher one, because even with this guy that I talked about, by the way, if I ever went into how I responded to that, it was not good. I'm just going to say it was one of the worst moments of my therapeutic career. Was my heart was racing. My heart was pounding after he said, yeah, I called her that. And I just was like, and maybe one day I'll admit to what I actually said. But
that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a different podcast.
We're going to get into one day we're going to have one on how as therapists.
Oh,
we say things and you're like, oh God,
yeah.
I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, I actually went to my supervisor afterwards and I was like, you might get a call from this client and they might call the board on me. I'm not kidding. So anyway.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, they'll root it for themselves because that's the kind of one that just, he can't hold back.
No.
Admitting that you called a 12-year-old a cunt is...
Well, and he would because he has no remorse.
There's none.
So
that's
there's
another,
no remorse.
No
that's
remorse.
Another one. Yeah, so he might be the malignant kind, or just more antagonistic. So
yeah,
it's
the
tough.
antagonistic one's the highly competitive, combative,
yes,
driven to win at all costs. They tend to be arrogant, dismissive of others,
hold
quick
grudges.
to hold grudges. Oh yeah, this one, he's probably a combination. You can have combos too, and they're all on the spectrum, guys. Like,
yes,
there is minor and then there's major. Yeah. So those are all, I think, good things to kind of think of. This is one that some of you guys are going to recognize: the communal narcissist.
Yeah, kind of a different spin on this. Actually, this was like just recent. I think that's actually the most recent subtype.
Yes.
But it's the people that portray themselves as highly empathetic, charitable, altruistic. So they use these good works to gain admiration, often masked as an underlying lack of genuine empathy. What they care about is what people see. They want to be seen as good deeds. They don't really care about the cause. They don't care about animals or like abused children or the
hungry people.
Like hungry people. Yeah. They use that as a way to be seen as a great person.
It's their stage.
Yes, that's their stage. And they really want validation.
They want validation. And you all know this person too. The person that's always like, you know, the superstar of volunteering, that's always doing extra, but they also want the accolades. And if they don't get the accolades, hell or high water, it's going to be a problem.
So rage.
The rage comes out, like, and they rage in my office when they have done so much good work and no one appreciates it and everyone takes advantage of them. They're also the victim.
Yes, and with narcissists, you've heard the term narcissistic rage before. You know it if you've ever tried to give someone feedback, a partner, whoever, and it's, hey, my feelings were really hurt and this bothered me. And you just watch them rage.
Most people would have empathy at this point. Like, wow, I'm really sorry. I made you feel that's not.
Did I make you feel that way? Oh, no. A narcissist never takes accountability for what they did. In fact, they use this technique called DARVO. It is deny is the D, A, aggression, and then they reverse the victim and offender. So you have come to them saying this bothered me, this hurt me. And what they do is they get aggressive, narcissistic rage. And they become aggressive towards you, like, after all I did for you, and then you bring this to me? I can't even believe it. Oh, my God.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't come home at 8 p.m. I came home later. Oh, Jesus. All I do is work for this family. That's the only thing I ever do. And I just put money on the table and I feed you. And you are so ungrateful. So that's a great example.
And then the partner, this is the partner you'll see in your office, retreats and thinks, oh, I'm an ogre.
God, aren't I the worst?
And
I know.
No,
it's the changing your reality. It's probably the most devastating part of being in a relationship with a narcissist.
Oh, there's so many books, so many great books. If you think you're in a relationship with one, read. There's so many out there. I can't even recommend them. There's so many good ones because it is so hard, and that's what I think I see more than actually the narcissist in my office.
Yes,
I
agree.
The victim, the survivors, the survivors of the kids and the moms or the dads.
Yes,
like, you know, it's just that's what you see.
That is. So the interesting thing is for you and me, probably, we have gotten more because their spouse brought them in. Oh. But they leave immediately. So here's the thing. In general, if you worry you could be a narcissist, you more than likely are not. Because they don't typically
You have
worry.
awareness. Yeah. So that's a really good sign. I say that all the time to people. If you have this awareness, then you're probably not. Like the guy that I gave the example, the fitness instructor that was flexing in the window. He popped in my office for one of his sessions. He threw $100 on my desk and was like, you know what? Like, I'm out. He's like, the bitch broke up with me. I don't need this anymore. And I was like,
the bitch broke
up with me. And you know what I thought? Thank God. This girl dodged a bullet.
Yeah, thank God she got out.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
Thank God. And I was, you know, like, okay. And like, just the flicking of the money was like, so disrespectful.
And they devalue.
Like, you can't help me.
They put you on a pedestal, and then they immediately devalue you. At one point, you are, that's the whole love bombing. Like, you're the best, you're the most, and you get hooked on how good they make you feel. And then it turns. It always turns. And now because they start devaluing you.
Exactly.
And you feel it. And the whole time you're like, wait,
but you think it's your fault.
Me.
Yeah. You think it's your fault. Like it's gaslighting at its best. The last one is neglectful narcissists. This use others as objects to be used, disregarded. They're emotionally absent, fail to support others, and show a profound lack of care for anyone else's needs.
Yep.
That's another hard one. And this is like, a lot of times we say when adult children or their parents were narcissists, they have a parents of a narcissist, or a child comes to my office and their parent is a narcissist. You will see these traits in that. Yeah. The neglectful. It's all about the mom or the dad. It's all about them. Like, and I mean, even with a 6-year-old, I've had a mom like, do you know how this negatively impacts me? No, I don't, because she's 6 and I'm more concerned about her. Yes. Like, do you know how you saying that impacts her? She's never going to say that again.
Yes.
So it's just a profound disregard
for other people's experience.
Yes.
They can't.
No, they will not validate it.
They will not. And it's a lack of empathy. So that is one of, if we get down to like this cluster of symptoms, right? We say it always exists on a spectrum. The other thing to think of too, because I think when I was in grad school, I don't know about you, but I read the DSM.
Oh yeah, I read the DSM multiple times.
And I was like, I could see myself. Oh, maybe that's me. No, maybe that's me. So the reality is a lot of us have traits of things, and it doesn't make you a full-blown narcissist. No. We've all had bad days where we couldn't take accountability for something we did. Right. Or like you don't see it. You're like, what do you mean? I didn't do that. People have bad days. Yeah. That's different than being a narcissist.
And the difference with that is like, I feel like the people that have the bad days come back and circle around and say, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry. Like I was a shit yesterday. Yes. I'm so sorry. Yes. I was in a bad spot. I
had a bad day.
Yeah. I mean, it could even be, oh God, I was such an ass yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry. And that they recognize that what they did was not appropriate.
Yes.
They're able to take accountability. If you're a narcissist, you don't see it.
Do that.
You don't ever.
It's a pervasive pattern. It's not one bad day.
No.
So people can have a bad day. That's where they are not narcissists, and they can take accountability. I've snapped. I don't know how many times I snapped at something, and like I'm like, shoot, I'm really sorry, Chris. You didn't deserve that.
But you genuinely feel bad about it.
I do. Like, I genuinely feel bad when I do it. I'll be like, you didn't deserve that. Like,
yeah. I came out like a lion.
Yes. I don't know where that was. And again, it comes from like, you're stressed out at work. You just have stuff going on with your kids. Like you have a rough moment, but you can later say, I'm really sorry. That is not a narcissist.
Right. A narcissist with like, whenever I do, if I get in an argument with someone, I will come back and be like, hey, this is where I was accountable.
Yes.
And 90% of the time, the other person's like, yeah, I'm sorry too.
Yes.
And if it was a narcissist, they would be like, I appreciate that apology.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to say they did anything wrong.
No. They never apologize.
Ever. It's never an apology. And that's a problem.
It's a big problem.
I think, and with kids out there, like I always tell this to parents, I'm like, it is so good to show them that you can apologize because they learn to apologize.
Yes,
when a parent's like, they never apologize, I'm like, do you apologize?
Yes.
Because
that is where we model it.
Yeah.
We have to model like, my end of this was, I yelled at you.
Right.
And I could have said it way differently. So I'm sorry I yelled.
Yeah.
And then your kid kind of appreciates that. And they go, well, I'm really sorry I was kind of disrespectful or whatever. I didn't do what you asked me to do. They're more willing.
I want to jump in on that one too. If you have an adolescent, do not diagnose them with narcissism.
You cannot.
Every adolescent developmentally is egocentric. They're back to that 2-year-old. It's me. Until they're 25. I typically
Their brain hasn't fully developed until 25.
So they might come off as a narcissist, but actually
it's developmentally appropriate.
Exactly.
So they are self-centered. You're right.
I mean, so egocentric.
We don't diagnose until after the age of 18, and we need a lot because there's a lot of trauma in these people's pasts. Yes. So even want to have some empathy here, like they do come from a place of trauma.
Yes.
And most personality disorders do. So the narcissistic personality disorder using the DSM, right? Yes. So it's pervasive and it's across multiple environments.
Right.
A grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates achievements and talents.
Oh, absolutely. Bragging. They're the one-upper.
Yeah.
You could cure cancer and they're like, really? I cured cancer, diabetes, and MS. Yeah. You know, like,
and although they didn't.
They did not. They had nothing to do with any of it. They're not even doctors.
Yeah. They might not even be doctors.
He sells cars.
Yes. The preoccupation with fantasy life.
Oh, yes. Of how brilliant and powerful and successful they are. They have a real inflated sense of who they are.
Yes. Yes. And this is hard because, again, we want to normalize that everything exists on a continuum. So like, if you notice that you can fantasize about living on a beach with like when you're and with no one around and just chilling. I mean, I'm a parent. Sometimes I think about that stuff. But this is like a preoccupation again. And it's, they're slightly detached from reality.
They are, because they'll think like, oh, I'm like the CEO here.
Yeah.
They're like the bottom level copier sales guy. Oh, I'm on the track to be the CEO.
Yes.
I'm on the track to be X, Y, and Z. I'm going to be a senator. I don't know, like all these really grandiose
ideas,
thoughts about themselves, and they truly believe it. And it's okay to, manifest and visualize. Yeah. But this isn't that. This is different. This is something,
because they have this underlying belief of being. They are so special. They are so unique.
That's the next one. The belief in being special. Beliefs that are special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other high status people or institutions. Like to the fitness guru, I was a peasant.
Yes.
Little I could probably outwork out him.
Yeah.
Definitely in today's world. But anyway, they have a really, I see this a lot in kids' sports. Mm-hmm. I have one individual I'm thinking of. His parents have told him he is so special and so unique and so great that he comes up between sessions of swimming. He's like, how'd I do, everyone? Yeah. Did I do okay? Yeah. And he won the race. Clearly you did okay. I refuse to feed it into it. And as he eats a Reese cup, literally everyone in the stands wants to punt this kid. Because he is but I feel like we can't diagnose him. He's an adolescent.
Right.
No. So. Right.
But that's just an example.
It's an example of you are so special. You are more important than these other kids. You shouldn't have to stand in line. You shouldn't have to be in that heat.
And for adults, that exists. There are people who do not feel like they should have to ever wait in line.
They don't. They cut in front of you.
You
know what I do? I call them out on it. Yeah. Sir, the line's back there.
Yes.
Yes. And then if they're narcissists, they usually kind of give you some kind of weird response and they don't move. But they're like, oh.
Because they don't believe the rules really apply to them.
It's unique thinking. It's a thinking error. It's a cognitive distortion. Unique thinking. I'm above the rules.
Yep.
So a lot of times, this will get them in trouble too, because we live in a society of rules.
We do. And there's sort of social contracts. You know what I mean? And most of us acknowledge them and go, shit, I got to wait in line. This sucks. It's long. TSA sucks, but I got to do it. And you but the narcissist is above all of that. They're entitled to the front of the line. They don't have to wait with us peasants.
That's the other one. That's another entitlement. They're entitled to everything. Their unreasonable expectations of how they deserve favorable treatment. They're always the VIP.
Yeah.
I should have the best hotel room. However, they're only paying for the $130 hotel room, but they should have the suite.
Yes.
Because they're so special and so important. So that's another one of the traits I think we really looked at.
This is a hard one. Exploitive behavior. I talk to people about this. When we want to connect to someone, right? So let's just say you're a person who enjoys connecting with others. If you are around a narcissist, you have to be careful because they can be so good at looking for your vulnerabilities, and especially if you tell them, right? Because when we want to connect to someone, we want to self-disclose.
Right.
Once they know your vulnerabilities, they can use it to hurt you. It's
yes.
So you have to be very careful. It's like you're such a terrible mom, right?
Right.
If you value being a mom.
Right.
If you've ever worried, what normal person hasn't ever said to themselves, God, I'm not being a good mom today. Or Mother of the Year. That's a joke I say all the time.
My kid's going to bring this up in therapy.
Yes, my kid's going to bring this up in therapy.
I'm going to be judged by it.
Yes.
I also think the exploitive one too, though, this is how else I kind of think of it. It's someone that uses you to get to other people. Say you have a friend group that they want to be a part of.
Yeah.
They might suck up to you and be your friend so they can get in that group.
Oh, gotcha.
And so, you know what? The social climbers. This is what I think. The climbers, the people that just constantly want to climb up the social ladder or corporate ladder.
That's a good point. Yes, that's a good point. It could be social or corporate.
Yeah, they exploit you.
They exploit. Yes.
They have no care about you. And then, after they're done.
Yes. You might be discarded.
You don't serve a purpose anymore.
You don't serve a purpose. That's another good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Is what purpose do you serve for them? And that is exploitation. So
and I feel also with that, this is easy to recognize because we've all had that person that was best friends with us and all of a sudden they drop you and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
You got them to where they were going.
Yes.
So usually, radical acceptance of that.
Yes.
And also with all of this too, don't beat yourself up if you've been a survivor of a narcissist because they're amazingly good at what they do. And you have no idea that they're doing it until the aftermath.
Sometimes too late.
Yeah,
it is always too late,
aftermath.
actually. I should say that because, yes, it is the aftermath that I think that you find you are then left picking up the pieces. The good news is, though, is if you can like get good help, they can help you kind of recognize like, no, they exploit things like trust. they exploit things like goodwill.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, and there's a lack of empathy. That's a big.
I think that's one of the hugest ones to look out for.
Oh yeah.
Someone that can't be empathetic towards
other
others.
people.
Yeah.
They are the only ones that have needs, wants, wishes, boundaries.
Only ones hurt.
They're the only ones. They never recognize that other people have those same things.
Absolutely not.
Ever. So
it's such a hallmark symptom.
It is. And when you come up across it, you feel it. Although they will try to distort it.
You feel. Oh, they can distort it. But there'll be a question I'll ask. I'll give them a question about, like, oh, so you see someone fall in the middle of the street. Mm-hmm. How do you feel? Yeah. What does that do for you? Or it can be any kind of question where, like, most people are like, oh man, I would get out of my car and help. I would feel terrible. I would think about that later. I'm like, well, I hope that person's okay. This person would be like, oh, they should learn how to walk.
Yeah.
Don't trip.
Yeah, don't be such an idiot.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
Jesus,
I feel nothing.
Better shoes.
Yeah.
Like, something like that.
They would not be empathetic to them. So that's a big one. Envy also. You'll see them being very envious. So what they do...
People who have more.
Yeah, and that's when you get exploited, is that they envy you, they try to emulate you, and then discard you. We've all seen the Lifetime movie on this.
Yeah.
Like the woman that like kind of gets close to the queen bee and then... kills her.
Single white female.
Single white female. Yes, that's exactly right.
Or the guy who looks up to a CEO, right? The big boss.
Yeah.
But it's because he envies the power, wealth, the material goods.
Yes.
They're very driven by that.
Yeah. Not the job itself.
Oh God, no. But they have no care about the actual CEO.
No.
What they just want is what he has.
Exactly.
And then that person might look around and go, how do I cozy up to said CEO so that I can get there? I can replace him at some point.
Exactly. How can I take this man out?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of where you're going with it. The arrogant behavior, like the guy flexing in the window. I think that's what we all kind of think of.
Yep.
Is that guy that's the stereotypical narcissist,
who just like loves themselves. They're fixated with their appearance.
They're actually kind of funny.
Yeah. Some of them are, not quite. I think when we think of some of those stereotypes, like that's not necessarily all narcissists, and I think that's what we're getting at here today. Right. Is like, when kids post a lot of selfies, adults post selfies.
Yes,
like that doesn't. Certainly, it's a platform you can use.
People that are narcissists love social media too, but you don't have to be a narcissist to post
you don't
a great body in a bikini on Instagram. Like that doesn't make you a narcissist.
No, it does not.
That person can still want to save the whales and genuinely because they love whales, not because I'm going to get an award for this.
That's the thing. That's why you can't take one snapshot of anything and then decide this person is this. Like it just doesn't work that way.
I think what kind of spoke to me in one of the lady that you spoke of earlier, who I can't remember her name, that was spoken to me 10 minutes ago, is a great
Dr. Romani.
Romani, yeah. Yes. I think a great indicator is, are they an asshole or a narcissist? And this is the indicator.
Yep.
An asshole is an asshole all the time. They demonstrate the unlikable behaviors all the time. A narcissist can be charming, likable, engaging when it serves their purpose. And then once they're at their house, they're a monster to their family. Like I think like the example they gave was like the really charming guy that's at the golf course with the CEO. He's charming the pants off their customers. Like he's Mr. Likeable. He gets in his car, phones his wife, calls her a bitch, tells her she's terrible, and then you see Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
And I think but if it's an asshole, they're across the board. They're never nice. Like it's that person. We all have these people in our lives too. They're not okay ever. Like they're always.
Yeah.
They're always crabby and mean and
it could be due to something else.
Yeah.
Or a multitude of different things.
Right.
So
I think that's a great indicator.
Okay, it is Dr. Ramani Durvasula. If anyone wants to follow her, she's amazing. And if you think you might have a narcissist in your life, check her out because she gives a lot of great tips.
A lot of good tips.
One of the biggest things being you do need to set boundaries, but you can't do it vocally. You have to do it very silently.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And we could go on and on and on.
We're going to do another podcast.
We're just going to have to.
We're going to do another one.
We are running a bit long on this podcast, so I think we should probably close it up.
Okay, so thanks for tuning in today. this episode of Fit Mind Chats. We'll see you next Monday for another session.
If you have any questions or you have ideas for topics, follow us on Facebook, Fit Mind Cleveland, and message us. If you'd like to seek out therapy services, feel free to go to our website, fitmindcleveland.com, and contact us.
If you please leave us a rating or a review and share our podcast with family, friends, enemies, or anyone that needs it. We want to bring mental health access to all people that can benefit. Thank you.
Thanks.